What is going on, YouTube? So I wanted to come back today with another NFL video heading into the season. So with preseason a little bit more than a month out, I'm really going to start trying to talk about the NFL a little bit more. So today I wanted to do my top 10 quarterbacks heading into the 2016 season. Now I did a video a little while back with my NFL quarterback rankings. That was after the 2015 season was over, but it's a little bit, I think this list is going to be a little bit different, adjusted to expectations for 2016. So let's start with the three outside. So I'm going to do, I guess, technically top 13, but these are in no particular order. So let's start with the Oakland Raiders quarterback, Derek Carr. You know, there's a couple ways I could have gone here. In my mind, it was really between Carr, Winston, and Flacco. You could throw Andy Dalton in that discussion too. But to me, quarterback with the best outlook and then really the best recent track record heading into 2016 is Derek Carr. You know, I did a video a few days ago talking about why I think the Oakland Raiders will be the most improved team this year, and I really like the situation they got going this year. I got a lot of faith in Latavius Murray, a lot more than most people do. And I think they got a nice little situation with their receiving core, mainly with Amari Cooper, one of the best young receivers in the NFL. So, number 2, I got Eli Manning. You know, inconsistent over his career, obviously, throws a lot of picks, but, you know, he's won 2 Super Bowls. He's led the Giants to the playoffs on numerous occasions. Overall, he's been a pretty good quarterback throughout his career. Again, got a decent situation heading into this year. See if OBJ can continue the production he's given to the Giants for his first few years in the league now, and see if Eli Manning can have another at least top 12 quarterback type year. So, at number 1, I got Tony Romo, and this one's probably the most blind faith ranking I have in here because, you know, Tony Romo did have recent success in 2014. Overall, he's been good in his career when healthy. If he's able to stay healthy this year, then the Cowboys could probably put together a little bit of a better season. He's got a better running back in the backfield now. They've got Ezekiel Elliott, who obviously has massive expectations heading into this year. So the supporting cast, I think, is there in a little bit greater numbers. I think Romo knows what he needs to do this year to stay healthy, have a good season. So I think it'll be better than last year, at least hopefully for the Cowboys' sake. So moving to the top 10, at number 10, I got Blake Bortles, Jacksonville Jaguars QB. You know, I've talked about Blake Bortles and Derek Carr, again, a lot. In my opinion, 2 of the better young QBs in the NFL right now. Both out of the same draft class. I believe it was 2014 that was actually turning out to be a pretty good quarterback draft class. And, you know, I don't think that the Jaguars are going to improve in one season as much as a lot of people think they're going to, just because they did have a really good offseason. But I think it's going to take a little bit of time. You know, the AFC South improved across the board this year, in my opinion. I still think it's the Texans and Colts divisions to lose. You know, the Texans finally added in a new quarterback, Lamar Miller, as well at running back. The Colts get Andrew Luck back for this year, hopefully for a healthy season and a beefed up offensive line, which was probably their area of need for the most part. But again, Andrew Luck just by himself puts them in as a contender. So at number 9, I got Phillip Rivers, San Diego Chargers quarterback. You know, Phillip Rivers has just been a model of consistency through his career, at least in my opinion. I think one of the more underrated quarterbacks throughout his career as well. Just hasn't had the supporting cast that you would like to see put around him in a little while. And, you know, with pretty much nothing to work with last year with the Chargers, he still had a pretty good season. So at number 8, I got the Arizona Cardinals quarterback, Carson Palmer. Again, great regular season quarterback. Just kind of folds when it comes to the playoffs. You know, he's a part of a Cardinals team that's, again, one of the most talented teams in the NFL. If they can finally put it all together this year and, you know, maybe make it to another Super Bowl, that'll probably bump Carson Palmer up even further on this list. So at number 7, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. You know, two-time Super Bowl champion up to this point in his career. You know, it's been a while since he's been back, but nonetheless, still been a good quarterback with probably the best receiver in football. Not even probably, that's a definite. You know, he's got a supporting cast. Should have Le'Veon Bell back this year, and arguably the best running back in the NFL as well. So, could be a special year in Pittsburgh. We'll see. And number, I believe, 6, yes, got Drew Brees, New Orleans Saints quarterback. You know, he's regressed a little bit with his stats over the past couple years due to a couple things. One, he's just getting older. Two, the supporting cast has pretty much gone downhill every single year in New Orleans. And 3, he might just be getting worn out. Either way, he's still a top 10 quarterback easily. I could easily see him finishing out his career in New Orleans, and it'd be good to see the Saints give it one more good run with Drew Brees behind center. So at number 5, I got the Indianapolis Colts quarterback, Andrew Luck. Again, especially out of the top 5, probably the quarterback that had the worst year last year. He was injured for most of the year, and honestly didn't play great when he was there. A lot because he was injured, and a lot just because I feel like he was running for his life literally for the entire year. But it's Andrew Luck. I'm assuming most people know when he's healthy, he can put together a great season that makes the Colts contenders. And again, that's kind of what you got to go on. At number 4, got the Seattle Seahawks quarterback, Russell Wilson. Over the years, just kind of proved that it wasn't really the supporting cast. A lot of the Seahawks' success on offense has just been from him. He's made Doug Baldwin into one of the better receivers in the NFL. Doug Baldwin was an okay receiver, but really before they started hooking up and kind of broke out last year, wasn't a huge name. He's still not a huge name, but again, bigger than he really ever was. Point is, Russell Wilson, to me, has earned his spot as one of the top 5 quarterbacks in football. It's going to be interesting to see if the Seahawks can, kind of get back up on that pedestal they've been sitting on since they won the Super Bowl, and get back to that, not just their winning ways, but get back to kind of their ways of domination that we were accustomed to seeing like a year or two ago. All right, number 3, you got the New England Patriots quarterback that will now be missing the first 4 games of the season. That's Tom Brady. Just because he's going to miss the first 4 games of the season this year, yeah, it might bump him down on like a fantasy football ranking or something. But overall, I'm not going to slot him in the top 2 because I do believe at this point in his career there are better quarterbacks in the league right now. I don't know if there's anyone you would still rather have to lead a 2-minute drill than Tom Brady in this league, but that's a very situational thing. He's getting up there in age. Patriots, I think, actually are the odds-on favorites to win the Super Bowl right now, which doesn't really surprise me. But again, I think you're going to see a very motivated Tom Brady when he comes back this year. It's, Gronk had his first healthy, full, productive year in a couple years. I like the situation the Patriots got. They finally got a little bit of steadiness at receiver. Julian Edelman's actually become somewhat of a household name at receiver. And like I said, that's chalked up to Tom Brady. So, at number 2, got the Green Bay Packers' Aaron Rodgers. So, it's hard to say if you started a franchise today that you would not start with Aaron Rodgers, at least on offense. But obviously you know who number 1 is at this point, Cam Newton. But it's hard not to pick Cam Newton at this point at number 1 just because of the season he had last year, an overwhelming favorite for MVP, who obviously won MVP. Again, Aaron Rodgers still a tremendous quarterback, still has a lot of years left, still leading a Green Bay team that's going to be contending year in and year out as long as he's there. It's going to be no different this year. And then number 1, like I just mentioned, Cam Newton. It's going to be interesting to see this year if the Panthers are actually going to be able to keep up some consistency. Because as long as I've been alive, when they're good one year, it seems to kind of falter off the next. It kind of comes and goes. But again, they were so good last year that you kind of got to figure they're going to be good again. The defense isn't as good, but it's still very good. They still got one of the best linebackers in the league in Luke Kuechly, and then they lose Josh Norman, which puts them thin at corner, but the rest of the defense I think will still be fine. The defensive line's absolutely stacked, and they drafted even more to beef it up. Linebacking core will be great, one of the best in the NFL. The offense will be just fine. Kelvin Benjamin coming back this year should be able to help out that receiving core be even better. That receiving core looked like it was depleted last year. And you had guys like Ted Ginn just step up. And again, another thing to watch out for, that was really, I'm assuming most of y'all already know this, but it was really the first time Jonathan Stewart had ever had a full healthy year. It seems like in the past 6 years. That was always the thing. Like, everyone knew he was talented. It's just you figured he was going to get injured every single year, especially when it was D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart in the same backfield. They were a good 1-2 combination, but it seemed like they were never healthy at the same time. And finally, Jonathan Stewart was fully healthy for a full season. And, he was a top 15 running back in this league, and he does have that type of talent. But again, just a couple of the factors pay attention to with the Carolina Panthers this year. But again, can't not put Cam Newton number 1 for QBs right now heading into 2016. So that'll pretty much do it for this video. Like I said, just wanted to give you guys a quick list, not really quick, but anyway, I'll put the list in the description below as always, and I will be coming back today with, actually got a pretty hefty load of videos today to finish off the weekend, but that's pretty much it. See ya.